All right, welcome to another modeling session here in Maya 2014. As you can see right here, I made this lamp. Very basic, nothing extremely complicated. I didn't even attach this. I just made it really quick. Um, anyway, so if you want to learn how to have a faster, um, more convenient flow of working with three-dimensional assets in Maya, you're certainly going to want to continuously practice at it. And I've taken my time. I've had some long hiatuses from this program, so I've had to reteach myself a few things. But I figured that with a new model and a new structure flow, you could easily get back into the rhythm of things. So let's go ahead and just hide this for now. So in fact, what we'll do is we will create, here let's deselect that, we'll create a new layer, call this sample 1. And then with sample 1, we can go ahead and just hide those for now. And then we'll just go ahead and start again. So all I did was make a basic plane, and then I made a sphere, dragged it, holding shift, go into our front view, and then we're going to, before I do that, let's hide the cameras so we don't see those. There it is. And then all I did was basically delete half of the sphere, and then added a lattice tool, which you can find in your animation tab, create deformers, lattice tool. So with this, I went into the lattice mode. So without selecting the mesh, I went over and selected the lattice box that's around it, and then I just hit lattice point, and then these come up. Now it sort of seems like you've selected the vertices of the object, but really you just selected the box. And what this will allow for you to do is it will let you transform the mesh without reconstructing the entire model, point vertice by vertice or edge by edge. It allows you to do it unilaterally. So we just went ahead and dragged this over and brought it up a little bit. Same with this, we're just going to squeeze it a little bit. And then for here, same thing, give it a little bit more of a rounder edge. And if you want, you can drag this down a little bit, and that's it. That's all you have to do. So there you go. Now you have yourself um, pretty much a lamp shade, if anything. And then you just go ahead and delete the history in order to get rid of that box. Now I've noticed that when you do use the lattice tool, it sometimes will deform the shape a bit. So I'm just going to go back into my front set view and go back to the settings and just try to play around with it a little bit more. See if I can just squeeze that up a bit. Or maybe I'll just do it universally. Give it a little bit more, but I don't want it to be too big though. So I might have to scale this down a bit. It still doesn't look right, so I'll just go ahead and play around with it a little bit more. Maybe just bring this down a bit. And there we go. What we could do is we can add in an edge loop, and now we can delete the history. Oops, we can select the model, delete the history, and then add in another one. And instead, we can add in 6 divisions. Nope, wrong one. There we go. And then what we can do is scale it this way, just so we can have like a nice curved shape. but without it being too narrow. There we go. That looks somewhat good. Let me just fix this one area right here. There we go. I think that looks fine. Okay, so you have yourself a lampshade, or whatever it is you want to call it. I'm going to central pivot it so I can see my little gizmo here, and then I'm going to sort of size this down a bit so it's not too big. And then what we're going to want to do is we're going to see if we can add in a spine so that we can connect this mesh with another one. So what we'll do is we'll take two of these faces right here. I've selected them, and I'm going to extrude and do an offset of about 0.1, or if you want to go a little smaller, you can go 0.2, but if you want to meet in the middle, you can go 0.15. Oops. 0.15, so 150. That seems like an appropriate size. Now, here's the trick with how I tried making a circle around here. Mind you, it's not the most conventional of ways, but for what I've been able to experience and test myself, it's worked. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the vertices, and I'm going to chamfer vertex. Now, it may give you a lot of unnecessary verts and triangles, but don't worry, that's going to be taken care of later. So I'm just going to select all of these and delete them. And then I'm going to try my best here to see if I can average these verts. And then try to see if I can add in a few more edges along the way. So we'll take some of these vertices. Nope. Sometimes it won't allow you to delete them, so just keep going at it until it does something. Because I don't want all of these verts. Sometimes it only allows you to do it one at a time. The whole point of this is we're trying to make a circle out of this without going too crazy with it. Alright, so now I'm going to extrude this piece, but I'm not going to use the gizmo here. I'm not going to use any of these options, because if you try to do that, it will mess it up, or it won't give you exactly what you're looking for. So I'm just going to go ahead and scale it and extrude it out with this little gizmo here. And then I'm going to bring this out, go into your scale mode, and then you're going to press, hold down J, and then bring it back just enough where it's straight. There you go. Okay, so it's not perfectly circular, but that's okay. We can still add more to it. So what we can do is we can select these, and then we can go into our vertices. Let's delete that, and then we're going to take these edges, go into our vertices, and then average them out. Doesn't seem like it does it fairly well, so what we can do is add in some more edge loops. I know it seems like I pretty much counterintuitive from what I just did before, but sometimes you do have to experiment with it. Okay, so we will go ahead and add an edge loop around there. So now we can get ourselves a little bit more free range for a circular edge. There we go. Okay, so now once we have this, we can go ahead and then start extruding these out. Bring this, hold down J, scale tool. There you go. Oops, I think I missed one. Try that again. Okay. Bring these back. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now we have something going here. Select all of these edges, vertices, average them out. Try to see if we can bring these in a little bit more. And then average them out again. So if I'm going back and forth repeatedly, it's because I'm experimenting and seeing if it's any better after I adjust it. Okay, well, let's see if I can squeeze this in a little bit more. Okay. And then, let's see. I've noticed that when we deselect it, it looks a little weird around this edge. Seems like the mesh is indenting, so we'll take these and soften them up. Or we might have to try this. Select the edges around here, soften them up. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to play with that a little later. So I'll try ahead and add some edge loops around here. Okay, grab the edges around this, and then same thing, we're going to straighten them out. R, that, and that's okay. Okay, so now we have the attachment for the spine. So now the next part is going to be adding this, the spine to this, but we're not going to extrude it out because I feel that it's a little bit too much work. So what I think what we're going to do is we're going to make another cylinder and then attach it from there. So let's go ahead and figure out how many we have. We have 12 edges. So we're going to need to make a cylinder with 12 edges. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete our history so it doesn't bog down. And then we're going to do a quick save. Always save because Maya is known for crashing at random moments of your 3D modeling session or whatever you're doing, and to lose all that information and hard work and time is quite painful. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a cylinder. Let's give this 12 subdivision axes. Let's go into our top view, find this where this is, and then we'll drag it to the line. And if you want to know how to snap it to the line, just hold down X, and then it snaps to the line, so it's always perfect and in line. And then hold J to move it within increments. Okay. Go to our top view, our right view, and then let's just move this right there. Perspective view, and then we're going to rotate this 90 degrees on the Z-axis. Okay, and then what we're going to do is try to size this a little bit so it matches up with our connector right here. Okay, just gotta fix that up a bit. So not selecting it. There we go. Over there. Best to get into the habit of labeling these so we're not So let's go ahead. Sorry about that. Taking a few minutes to organize myself. All right, good. All right, so what we'll do is we're going to delete all of these adjacent faces. Delete. Size it down a bit. So it sort of goes in a little bit better. There we go. Okay, take these edges, extrude, and then we're just going to do an offset of, let's try 11. That works. Okay, add in some edge loops. The more edge loops you add, the easier it's going to bend. If you don't know, or if you don't add enough edge loops, it will not bend in a structured format because it will look jaggedy and the edges will look off and it's not going to look as smooth. When you're making a spine for a lamp that's holding, maintaining its structure, it's maintaining its structure and so on and so forth. You want to make sure that it looks correct. Otherwise, someone's going to look at it later on and say that it looks weird. Okay, so once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and add in our bend tool. I have the shortcut, but same thing. If you need to find it, go to your animation tab. We're going to go to, I think it's the animate tool. No, not the animate tool. Create deformers, nonlinear, bend. And there you go. So we're going to bend this. So I have to find my bend tool. Now, if only I can find it. There we go. I think we're going to have to rotate. I think it's already rotated for us, but we'll just go ahead and make sure. Yeah, that looks correct. All right, so we'll do a -10 for now. The low bound is going to be the end of the spine, and then the high bound is going to be at the top of the spine. So we'll make that 0, so we don't want that to bend, but we're going to make sure that this is at -1, and then we'll go ahead and add in our curvature. And I put a -100 because I want to get an immediate, or not an immediate effect. I want to get a very obvious effect of what it does before I do anything else. So once we have that settled, we'll then go ahead and then see about trying to make this how we want it. So we're going to use this gizmo here, and we're going to then move it to the front, and then this is going to allow for us to play around with some of the bend numbers and see if it works. So right now I have it set at the beginning, or at the base of where it's going to be connected. However, I don't want it to be that bend. I don't want it to be that forward. So what we'll do is sort of move this a little bit forward so it's not so bent, but we wanted to make sure that it's connected. Okay. Now, mind you, this is not going to be exactly how it's going to be, how its exact structure is going to be, because eventually we're going to angle this so it's looking like that. Because normally, when you have a lamp, you want to always make sure you have enough light, and if you bend it, it just gives it that much more realism instead of it just being completely flat like this. Otherwise, it doesn't seem as if it's being used. Just to add a little bit more realism to it. Okay, so I think for what it looks like right now, I just want to make sure this looks straight. We'll go to our, oops. Let's go to our side view. I don't know why that's the wrong way, but that's fine. Okay, so this is our front view. This is exactly what I want it to look like. Okay. So I'm going to then play around and make sure we have it set like that. Okay. And now, mind you, I'm going to have this connected at an angle. So I'm going to delete these faces. So once you feel you have it set to your liking, I'm going to delete the history, and then I'm going to delete some of these faces because it's a little too long. See, I'd rather make it too long than too little, too small. Otherwise, you can't. It's harder to add onto it. Okay, I'm going to then bring this to an angle. I'm going to move this over here and add, bend it, or angle it up. There we go. And then structure it a little bit up. There we go. Okay. Oh, I made another one. Oops, which I didn't need. So I will go ahead and delete that. All right. So once you have that set, we're going to then try to measure it out or line it up with the original spine. And then let's see, let's kind of zoom in here. Okay. And then we're going to move this over here. Make sure it's lined up. It just needs a little bit more to the left. Our gizmo is way over here, so all you have to do is center pivot, and then it goes back to its original position. Okay. Looks good. Now I might need to raise this up a bit. Okay. Good. All right. And then same thing with this. Just make sure I have enough room for it to start adding. Okay. All right, and we're set. Now the spine can, you can alter it if you want. You can make it a little bit bigger if you just do so, if you choose to do so. But I think I'm going to leave it at that for now, for the sake of expediency. So once you've done that, select both of the objects, and then you're going to combine them. This will allow for you to attach them to the verts. So we're going to go into our vertices, and then we're going to take this, merge vertex tool, and then we're just going to go ahead and start attaching them. And that's why it was important before to make sure we made 12 subdivision axes, because if we didn't do 12, it was not going to match up, and then it would not have worked. So just take each one of these, line them up. Okay, done. Now for before you finish and move on to the next part, just make sure that you have securely merged all of these. So select the edge, go to the other verts, and then just merge the verts, and then hit G a few times to make sure it worked. And there you go. So now you have connected it through one piece. So now it doesn't look as if you've just extruded a bunch of parts for it. Now I'm looking at it right now, and it looks a bit rough. Feels like we can. Seems like we can do a little bit more with this. So what we could do is take all these verts and average them out, and it looks a little bit better now, since it doesn't seem as raggedy. So you can just, if you want to make this a little bit nicer, you can add in more edge loops. Add in more here, and then we'll go ahead and just average them out. Or if you really want to get creative, you can soft select them and move them one at a time. And then just make sure that they are all straight. Okay. Seems like it's a little bit long, but we can always delete those. There we go. Okay. All right, well that works. So we'll just go ahead and bring this over here, go to our top view. And then what we might want to do is turn this around. So we are going to take this, delete history, central pivot, freeze transformations, or not actually freeze transformations. Yeah, actually, yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll turn this 90 degrees. Nope, wrong one. Okay, and then go here, wireframe. Make sure this is centered. Okay. And let's see. Sometimes when you're looking at these models, you're always wondering how I can make it better, how you can obviously make it better. Now, one of the things that I'm noticing is that it still looks a little bit angled. So you just have to keep continuing to play around with it until you have it exactly how you want it. Okay, let's see. Noticing this part right here. Soften edge. Here, I'll show you what it looked like before. See, you can see how there's an edge right here, and then this piece is really rough. So all you have to do, select the corresponding edge, soften it up. Same with all this, soften the edge, and now it looks like one piece. Okay, all right, so now we'll go ahead and make the base, which is going to be pretty easy. So all you have to do is make a cylinder, create about that size, maybe a little bit too big, but that's okay. And then we'll attach this later in another lesson. I'm going to just delete this, make this a little bit bigger. 1.3. Select the edges, extrude. We're going to offset, and then bring this to about 0.1, or extrude again. Create that beveled look. Bring it down. Extrude again. Then we're going to bevel it a little bit more. .50. Let's try that. Bring this down. Bring it down like that. And then just sort of bring this in. Soften that up a bit. Or what we could do is mirror it, mirror the object without having to keep redoing it. Mirror polygon, y-axis. There we go. And that looks like a good base. Maybe a little bit bigger. We're going to have to make this part a little bit smaller. So select the faces, Oops, select them all. Select all the vertices. Make these a little bit smaller, and then just go ahead and add these to your liking. So I'll play around with it later. All right, so we have the basic structure down. We obviously can make the spine bigger because it looks a little bit too small. Or we could go ahead and just make the head of the lampshade a little bit smaller, which I might end up doing, but I'll save that for another time. So that's all I have to show you for lesson 1. We'll go ahead with lesson 2 next time. Thank you.